your plackets are constructed, and now we are going to attach the plackets to the sleeve. So you're going to take your sleeve pattern, set it out. You want to be sure the right side is looking down at the table, and if you look at this sleeve pattern, you can see that one bird is heading up one direction, the other bird's heading down the other. This actually is a Ghanaian print, and they head in different parts of it. They head all directions, so you'll see the flowers coming sideways, they'll be upside down, they'll be right side up, so in different parts of this shirt, the birds are going all directions, the flowers are going all directions. You are going to take your placket, and you're going to take the right side of your placket, and again, you've got the line that you drew. You've got the right side of your placket gets sewn to the wrong side of your sleeve. The placket sits under the back of the sleeve. You can tell the back of the sleeve because there will be the double notch. The placket sits under the back of the sleeve, and your chimney that you made actually needs to be pointing towards your single notch or headed towards the front of the sleeve. So be certain that as you've got this laid down, that your placket is right side of your placket to the wrong side of your shirt, underneath your double notch here, and that the chimney itself is pointing towards your single notch, or you will have your placket sewn onto the wrong sleeve. To align it, I like to take a pin right through the corner, and then I can go right through that very same corner on my shirt that we've marked before, and I know that my placket is now sitting exactly on my shirt where it should be, and that aligns the top. To get the bottom aligned, remember we marked those with clips, and so I can take the little clip that's in the bottom of the placket and make sure that that little clip aligns with the clip that was in my shirt, and get my placket aligned that is sitting on my shirt. I like to take and put some pins outside of where I'm going to be stitching so that that placket stays exactly parallel to the area that I'm sewing. And again, take time, please pin both of them on. So same idea here, I've already pinned the first one on. I went through the top area, made sure it aligned with my markings on my sleeve to the markings on my placket, and then have aligned the cuts up at the bottom. When you go to sew this, you'll see you've got your white line here. As you go to stitch it, you will use regulation stitching. You'll start here at the base of the placket, you'll back stitch, sew all the way up the placket. As you get 1/2 of an inch from the top of the placket, you will change to reinforcement stitching. Sew to the top of the placket, across the top of the placket, pivot turn again at that corner, sew down the placket 1/2 inch, and then go back to regulation, and you will sew back to the bottom here. And so you will sew both of those, and then again you're going to lay your two sleeves out, and you're going to make sure that you truly have mirror images of each other before you move on to the next step. All right, so we are sewing the placket here. I just back stitched the bottom there. I'm heading up the line, and notice I'm just using the chalk line that I drew as my guideline. You have a little groove right here in your presser foot that you can follow and help you guide that up so that you're following that line exactly. This becomes very easy to sew and to sew straight because you've drawn those lines. As you get to within that 1/2 inch, again, remember to shorten your stitch length down to reinforcement. So to the top of the placket, pivot turn, stitch across the top of the placket, the box that's there, pivot turn, stitch down for 1/2 inch, go back to regulation, and sew down that other side. And then you will do the very same thing to the other placket, and then before you move to the next step, you're going to line them up again and look at them. Okay, after you have sewn both the plackets in place, before you do your next step, I want you to set it out on the table again one more time. Right side of your sleeve looking down at the table, so you're looking at the wrong side of your sleeve. Make sure you have the right side of the placket sewn to your sleeve. Check it one more time. Make sure you have a mirror image. Make sure that the top of that placket, the chimney, is pointing up towards the single notch, because up to this point you can unpick and fix, but as soon as we do the next step, you can no longer unpick and fix. Your next step is you are going to cut up the center of where you sewed there, up to about 1/2 inch from the top of the placket, and then Y cut out to the tip. And so you literally are going to take your scissors and cut up the center of that placket, and then Y-cut to the tip, and you want to get as close to that corner as you can get without going through it. So you can see why I was so picky about, please do both of them at the same time. Please check and make sure you have a right and a left, because when you hit this step, we can't fix it anymore. We are now going to pull the placket through that hole. So you'll turn your sleeve over. It's now right side up. You didn't think that fabric could get any brighter, did you? Yes, it can. Right side of it coming up, and now I have the right side of my placket sitting on the right side of my shirt when it's done.